Sometimes you play a game and it just feels as though it was tailor-made with you specifically in mind. Well, that's a thought I had whilst playing through Road 96, a game I'd always had my eye on but never got around to playing myself until recently. Road 96 is another one of those choice and consequence games where you make decisions that affect the outcome of the game, and I'm a sucker for these things, as you could probably tell by scrolling through my channel. So I know that there are a lot of good ones and a lot of bad ones, and Road 96 is definitely one of the good ones. In Road 96, you step into the fictional authoritarian nation of Petria, which is heavily inspired by real-world oppressive regimes. The game takes place in 1996, and the country is under a despotic leader, President Tyrak. Petria is rife with political unrest, and many citizens, mainly young people, are seeking a way out of the repression they face daily. You play as various different teenagers who attempt to escape to the border, hoping to cross over into freedom. Each journey is unique, and the setting reflects the gritty and tense atmosphere of a society on the brink of a revolution. But the twist here is that the game is a roguelike. The roguelike structure is a major part of its appeal. Unlike a traditional story-driven game with a linear narrative, Road 96 uses RNG to create varied encounters, random events, and branching choices that make each playthrough feel incredibly fresh. There's no order that you will experience the scenarios in, they are completely random. As you go from one ride to the next, you'll meet a wide array of characters with different motives, backgrounds and beliefs. Every run offers a different sequence of events and conversations, which makes each attempt to reach the border feel unique. Sometimes you'll face situations that can change based on choices made in previous playthroughs, and certain actions might even influence the nation's overall trajectory, nudging the story and environment subtly. In terms of its themes, Road 96 integrates its interactive story elements well with its political and social commentary. The game immerses you in a world where every decision, whether to help someone, to trust someone, or to engage in some risky behaviour, feels heavy and consequential, not just for your own journey, but for the society around you. This is reinforced by the cast of diverse, sometimes morally ambiguous characters who reflect the broader struggles and complexities of living under an authoritarian regime. These characters represent different sides of the political landscape. From revolutionaries to government enforcers, each person you encounter has their perspective on the crisis in Petria, adding depth and realism to the world. The themes of freedom, rebellion and survival are felt in nearly every interaction and choice that you make. The world building is generally very strong. Each escape attempt forces you to confront the game's central questions. Is it worth risking everything for freedom? How does one individual's action affect the collective push for change? The game weaves these questions seamlessly into its interactive choice-driven format, making Road 96 not just a journey for survival, but a moral and emotional exploration of resistance against oppression. As you progress, each decision you make builds a patchwork of experiences that eventually contribute to the larger narrative. You can earn skills by making certain choices or completing certain actions that carry over into subsequent runs. Some runs may end with you reaching the border, others with capture, others with worse outcomes, but every attempt adds to your understanding of Petria and the stakes. The game's design, blending procedural elements with carefully crafted story beats, allows it to tackle these heavy themes without feeling forced, and it does so in a way that keeps you engaged through its blend of exploration, choice and survival. When you delve into Road 96, you are immediately struck by the depth and complexity of its characters. Each individual you meet along your journey feels alive, brimming with unique motivations, fears and histories. The way the game weaves these personalities into its branching narrative ensures that your choices resonate on a deeply personal level. As you progress, you don't just interact with these characters, you come to understand them, empathise with them, and sometimes question their actions. Take Zoe, for example. She embodies rebellion against the oppressive government of Petria, but carries a privileged naivety that complicates your perception of her. You notice how her upbringing as the daughter of a high-ranking official contrasts with her stark desire to escape. Her disillusionment with her father adds layers to her character, making you feel as though she's struggling to reconcile her personal grievances with broader societal injustice. This tension between privilege and rebellion becomes even more palpable when you share a moment of vulnerability, perhaps when she plays her trombone under the stars. It's in these quiet moments that Road 96 speaks the most, and you see the humanity and need for connection. I've seen Zoe get a lot of hate from the Road 96 community, but I think if you really contemplate the position her character is in, her behaviour becomes much more understandable. Jared, on the other hand, challenges your sense of safety and morality. From the moment you meet him, you feel a tension that's almost suffocating. He's not just a taxi driver, he's a man haunted by loss and consumed by rage. You learn about the death of his daughter, and you start to piece together how grief has transformed him into someone unpredictable and dangerous. What makes Jared so compelling is how he teeters on the edge of humanity and monstrosity. You may feel moments of sympathy when you see his pain laid bare, but his violent tendencies and obsessive nature with revenge constantly remind you of the darkness within him. He forces you to confront your own boundaries. How far can someone go before they lose your empathy entirely? Fanny, the conflicted police officer, offers another layer of complexity. She represents the moral ambiguity of enforcing a corrupt regime whilst also trying to protect her son who ran away. As you interact with her, you see her torn between duty and conscience. Her desire to keep her son safe often comes at the cost of ignoring the broader harm she causes by upholding the system. When you speak with her, you feel her inner turmoil. She's a mother first, but she's also trapped in a role that compromises her values. You can't help but wonder how you would navigate such a dilemma in her place. It's not as simple as just quit then. What makes all of these characters so well written is how they feel like reflections of the world they inhabit. They aren't just archetypes dropped into a world. Petria's authoritarian regime doesn't just serve as a backdrop, it actively shapes the lives of everyone you meet within it. Each character's story is a microcosm of a larger societal issue, whether it's the crushing weight of grief, the corrosive effects of privilege, or the moral compromises one must make in order to survive. You also notice how these characters change based on your choices. The non-linear storytelling allows you to see different sides of the personalities depending on how you interact with them. If you show kindness to Jared, for instance, you might catch a fleeting glimpse of his humanity. Conversely, if you provoke him, his darker tendencies come to the forefront. This dynamic responsiveness makes the characters feel like real individuals rather than static NPCs. By the time you reach the end of your journey, you realise that these characters are not just passengers in your story, they are the story. They each represent different facets of resistance, complicity, and survival under an oppressive regime. Through them, you are encouraged to reflect on your own beliefs and values, and that's what makes the characters of Road 96 so profoundly impactful. At its core, the gameplay involves exploration, dialogue choices, and a mix of light minigames. You move through various locations such as gas stations, motels, diners, and highways, where you interact with characters, uncover pieces of their story, and make choices that could alter the course of your journey. Each character has their own tone and pacing, from quiet reflective moments to tense standoffs, ensuring that the game stays engaging without relying on complex systems. The minigames, for example, while varied, are intentionally low stakes. You might find yourself playing air hockey or something like that. These activities break up the dialogue-heavy gameplay and provide a sense of agency, but they are not the game's focus. Their simplicity ensures they don't distract you from the narrative and thematic elements that define the experience. The procedural generation of events is a unique feature that complements the game's themes of unpredictability and personal choice. Each journey feels different because the order and combination of them varies. The randomness mirrors the uncertainty of life on the road. But it also ensures that the characters you meet and the stories they share remain fresh. Despite this procedural approach, the game never feels disconnected. The overarching narrative threads, especially the individual character arcs, tie everything together seamlessly. Ultimately, Road 96's gameplay is designed to serve the narrative, not to overshadow it. The choices you make in dialogue and action are what truly shape the experience. Whether you choose to confront authority, help a fellow traveller, or focus on your own survival, your actions drive the story forwards. If you're looking for intricate mechanics or fast-paced action, you would find the gameplay lacking. However, Road 96 is not trying to be a traditional video game. Its goal is to immerse you in its world and make you care about its characters and themes. The gameplay is deliberately understated, acting as a framework that lets the emotional and narrative beats shine. I play a lot of video games, and I play a lot of good ones, but it's not often I play a game and feel as though it was made with specifically me in mind. That's what Road 96 achieves. Its characters are deep and well-rounded, its premises and structure are ambitious and creative, and the gameplay, while simple, doesn't overshadow the message of the game. I wouldn't go as far as to say Road 96 is a must-play for everybody, but it's a must-play for someone like me. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. I hope that you did enjoy it. If you did, please leave a like, it really does help me out. And if you want to see more videos like this one, click the subscribe button to get one every single week. But for now, that is all. Have a nice day, and goodbye.
I've lost sight of right and wrong. When you left an open door, I couldn't help